Hey, wee tree, how you doing? Let's see, let's pull up the screen here. Aww. Let's see here. Let me get on the stream here. All right. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Hey, y'all, I'm just logging in here. Texas Mom's going to be joining me shortly. Just eating some dinner. Thanks, Wee Tree. Thanks for being on and moderating this evening. And I did get, somebody did post a question, so I'll probably, eating some lasagna here. I'll definitely address, hey, Jan Henderson, how you doing? I keep trying to use like the little YouTube portal thing for the chat, and it never functions properly for me. This lasagna is so good. It's really strange. I started back on my intermittent fasting today, and I think I ate yesterday. My last food was at like 4:30, and I got to 2, 3. I got to like 4 o'clock today, and I wasn't even hungry when I ate this, but figured I would eat. Yeah, it draws the trolls. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hey, Nina D, how are you doing? I'll just give a couple minutes for some people to pile in here. Farmer Brad, what's up, man? Toasted rabbit. Texas Mom's lasagna is ridiculous. It's so good. It is so good. All right, so I was looking for... Oh, Farmer Brad just got back from a cookout. Justin Stevens, good evening, sir. I want to say it was Tangled Wood Homestead. So I'm pretty sure. Do our pigs have a mud hole? To some form and fashion, they always manage to, you know, we have a large waterer, and we give them mud time, but they don't have an official mud hole. They've been getting a lot of cow's milk lately. They're getting incredibly plump. Homestead Remembrance. California Homestead. California Homestead, Dad he wants to hear the summer sweater song. So maybe if y'all hang around long enough, you can hear the summer sweater song. I don't know if y'all were on last week or whatever. You got to see Texas Mom's summer sweater, and it's a black sweater. It raises many questions in my mind, but it's just the logical person in me that... Bumblebee! And the Texas Boys, what happens with the Texas Boys? A little behind the curtain stuff here. They, every second they get, if they're not doing something, they always run out the front door, jump on their bikes, and take off. So I think that's what they just did. And they all got bathed, and we worked a lot in the yard today, mulching and stuff, and they were supposed to be done for the day, but many times into the dark hours, they ride their bikes. So it's hard to contain the Texas Boys, but All right, so Tanglewood Off-Grid Homestead asked, what do you think of investing in real estate at county tax auctions? Yeah, I would love for you to share some of that rain too. We have been without rain. I've always been a big proponent of real estate. It's called real estate, and it's relatively a great investment. I mean, I do think that every state tries to property tax it away, and I believe that they want to do that. The way that they want to do that in Texas is through school taxes. We do have some leverage with ag exemptions and different things like that to help us. We've never gotten these homeschool exemptions like we're supposed to have gotten. But they want to build these large monolithic prisons for our public school children. Public school system is going to be building a wall around it and a single entrance so that we stop all these evil school shootings and all that stuff. So, and it's all gonna be incorporated with the backscatter scanner machines and all that stuff. There's a guy on the Trump administration that already has the contracts on all that stuff, so that's why it conveniently pops up. They started talking about it real heavy after the Las Vegas bump stock massacre, and then they're going to bring it up again after a couple of school shootings. And so there is no more land being made. I think that was Will Rogers. Will Rogers was big into, and I've always done really well in real estate. So and as a financial advisor, all the clients that we had that did well financially, that had large portfolios, all had real estate. And TM, yeah, TM's coming. She's on her way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Indiana is very has great tax laws. They have great gun laws, great tax laws. Indiana was definitely, we have incredibly awesome friends in Indiana. We heavily considered Indiana. So yeah, so I would say that, and there is some advantage to using tax sales. The disadvantage of trying to purchase through tax sales are all the local buyers and all the old money in the town. Those guys usually have the tax sales locked up. So it's hard to get deals at tax sales because the local people and the old money in town, they've already had their eyeballs on everything, and they got insides inside the office, and they say, hey, just let me know when that place is coming up for auction. So they already have it like game planned and strategized. So that's the only negative thing about tax sales, is usually the local real estate people already have it kind of laid out. They know what it's worth. They have their liquid. They have the liquidity to purchase it, and it's already, back in the day when people were less savvy about it, you could find better deals. But now, when it comes to real estate, the biggest advantages with real estate now are just putting out the feelers and putting word out on the street and trying to find private deals. That's where you're going to find the biggest deals with real estate, is peer-to-peer, and not necessarily for sale by owner. Usually people on for sale by owner have a greater impression of what their property's worth. Many of the time, the reason they're on for sale by owner is because the realtor pulled all the comps and said, your property's worth 150 grand. And they said, no, it's not. It's worth 180 grand, which a property is only worth, if you're financing it, your property's only worth what the comps that are available in your area, because the bank is only going to give you lend off of the comp amount. So, and comps are the comparable sales in that area that are comparable to your property. Yeah, billboards. If you could rent billboards, it's very lucrative. It's just keeping them. It's keeping them rented. Is the challenge. Keeping them rented out. All right. So yeah. So I started. My thumbnail for the live is actually a picture of, on the back of the $1 bill, of the unfinished pyramid with the all-seeing eye. Part of investing is coming to the realization that our market is artificial, which makes real estate even more attractive. But you know, the first question I like to ask people is like, why is that thing on the back of our dollar bill? And it's crazy because we walk around with it in our pocket and we use it all the time and we pay for stuff and it's the $1 bill. But a lot of people have never put any thought to that, like why it's there. And there's a really long, complicated answer to that. Maybe, or maybe there's a really short, simple answer to that. But, you know, if anything, it's an indication of who runs the show. And, hey, Mrs. O. Rick is working tonight. All right. Well, he can watch the replay. Yo, Rick. Yo, Rick on the replay. But, yeah, so I wanted to put that out there because, you know, that once you realize, I was at an accountant's office last week, and he had on the wall an original, what's the 1040. So he had a copy of the original IRS form for, and I took a picture of it and scanned it and did all that cool stuff. But it said, in accordance with 1913 whatever law. And I said to the accountant, I was like, so the federal income tax was established when the Federal Reserve was established? And, you know, I read a lot of, you know, there's a great book if you've never read it, called The Devil at Jekyll Island. The Devil from Jekyll Island. And that was Griffin. Edward Griffin. I'll have some more if there's available, but or if you want some, Mama. And you know, the whole symbolism behind our money, just like the symbolism that originally was associated with the euro when the European Union started, and they made their whole currency with the woman riding the beast and all that stuff on the back. They like to telegraph us and tell them, you know, they like to tell us what they're doing. But I say all that to say this, you know, if you study history and you study the Great Depression, there was a stock market crash. Edward Griffin, yeah, that's it. The Creature from Jekyll Island. Thank you, California Dad. The Creature from Jekyll Island. There was a stock market crash prior to 1929, and it was in 1920. And the Federal Reserve did not intervene, and neither did the government. And so we went from that crash that everything immediately popped back. We went into the Roaring '20s, and then they set up the stock market crash of 1929, and that was we could only ever come out of that through government intervention and all that good stuff. And we never really actually ever did come out of that Great Depression. With all the, you know, that's when all the bubble started. Social Security and pensions, they never existed before any of that. So you know, that's basically when the wheels fell off of the free enterprise system, so to speak. We still have small vestiges of the free enterprise system, but there's so much crony capitalism and so much control going on that if we had true free enterprise, it would blow people away. And free enterprise problems would resolve themselves in a free capitalistic market, relatively speaking. You know, bad people are still bad people, and not good people with lots of power and are still going to do bad things, but a free market. Okay, the audio is a bit, let's see, I'll turn the gains all the way up. Maybe I'm just not talking loud enough. Is that it, you think? Yeah, so, you know, once they came in and blew up our capitalist system, you know, basically the Federal Reserve makes it so that everything can be synthetic. And the thing we have to realize is this is the second thing that I asked, because I actually got to experience the whole TARP bailout and the Lehman Brothers. You know, there was two predominant supposed culprits in the whole mortgage crisis, and it was Bear Stearns and it was Lehman Brothers. Now, for whatever reason, Bear Stearns got bailed out and Lehman Brothers took the fall. They were both doing the same thing, and for some reason, Bear Stearns got the gold Willy Wonka ticket and Lehman Brothers had to bite the bullet. Now, here's the thing. Because they let Lehman crash, it crashed the financial markets, and they needed to do TARP, which was supposedly $1 trillion. They could have bailed out Lehman. They could have bailed out Lehman with, I don't know, a couple billion. So, and here's where, you know, these guys are way smarter than me. But, they're way smarter than me, but just a redneck hillbilly hick. Like, what would be easier? You give Lehman Brothers $2 billion or whatever it was. Maybe it was $100 billion. I don't think so. I think it was single digits in the billions. You give Lehman Brothers a couple $1 billion or $100 billion. You bail them out. Everything goes on super peachy keen, right? But no, you pull the rug out from under, you crash them, and then you got to supposedly fork over $1 trillion to bail out all these banks that were too big to fail. Now, the biggest problem with TARP is, other than the fact that all the assets that were bailed out to the banks went on to asset procurement for bigger banks that were too big to fail to buy other banks, is that there was another additional there was an additional $7 trillion off balance sheet, and you can all this stuff's like on C-SPAN and stuff where they talk about it in congressional hearings, and they ask, like, where's the $7 trillion of transactions that are off balance sheet that were never recorded? And that's basically, and that all happened before quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3. And supposedly there was only 3 or 4 quantitative easings. I lose track. When in reality there was like 9 separate quantitative easings. All of that's in addition to the $7 trillion, which means a total of $8 trillion on that bank bailout. And that's how all these companies were able to buy up these other banks. Oh, it's awesome. Sometimes it's just awesome. So, I bet you kind of wish that the audio was a little bit wonky. No. But, you know, I say all of that to say this, besides the fact that our economy is completely synthetic. I mean, all you have to do is look at the Dow and the S&P and look at these historically incredibly high numbers, and then just walk around your neighborhood and walk around your town and drive through these different cities. I mean, if Dow numbers were real, all local economies would be screaming, and most local economies are struggling. And in Texas, it's a little different because a lot of it's so oil driven, and it's driven by the price per barrel. But I mean, and now I can tell you, when oil was at $50 a barrel, lots of stuff shut down. A lot of people aren't spending money. Oil's at $70 a barrel. It's a totally different story. Lots of stuff going on. A lot of these different smaller oil concerns that do different things for the oil companies. New buildings going up, new construction, new business going on. But the bottom line is that it's all a debt-based economy, and it's all structured and based on debt. So the chicken has to come home to roost. The chicken, when you hyperinflate a market with fake digital currency that doesn't even exist, and you're doing it, we have all these checks and balances. Yeah, but it's all off balance sheet. It's all been done fictitiously, and they recognize it. Now, how come when they had a congressional hearing and they asked the, what do they call those? Not the attorney general, but they asked the, general, which I don't get all those weird, goofy names they ascribe to people either. But when you ask them like, oh yeah, but what about this first off, they'll ask them, so, hey, where did the money go? Oh, well, we don't know yet. Well, who's keeping track of it? Has anybody paid attention? Like, what? No, we don't know. We won't know until we... So you just hand out trillions of dollars, and you have no idea where it went or who it went to. And, when you're the money changers, you can do that. There's no oversight. There's no checks and balances. And the thing is when you can supposedly have $7 trillion that disappears and nobody knows where it went, how easy would it be to buy into any sector? You could easily make a sector crash with probably a couple $100 billion. It ain't your money, so what do you care? It doesn't even exist on paper. You buy into a sector, you can make it crash like that. You dump 300 or 400 billion into a sector and then you pull it out overnight. What do you care how much you lose? But you can crash that sector. You crash the sector. You take an extra trillion that you have laying around and buy back into the sector. How much money will you make? It'll make your loss look like nothing. And I mean, and that's what they're doing on a global level. And it's all going to be whatever benefits them that week, And the biggest thing to realize, this is where I totally disagree with Schiff, and Schiff says some weird stuff about China, almost acting like, these people that talk about China and, they do it differently and they're making all this stuff and it's like this quasi-capitalist thing and all that stuff. They're a socialistic country. However you slice it, they're socialists. So, and it doesn't work. So hybrid socialism isn't a whole lot different than what we have here. We are an incredibly socialistic country. The fact that we have Social Security and all these other socialistic Band-Aids, collapsible Band-Aids that are going to collapse is just more proof that, government lending, the fact that we have government lending and government loans and government mortgages and USDA is making home loans and stuff like that. Like, what does that even mean? Like, how is that even possible? And it's just, now supposedly they rolled back this Dodd-Frank thing. But that kind of stuff, you can't stick the genie back in the bottle. It's just like with Obamacare and all this, repealing the mandate. Yeah, but you still have a totally broken system. And when you repeal the mandate, you put more pressure on the system to collapse the system. And smart people know that. It's not. We're not dealing with a bunch of people like, oh, I never really thought about that. No, you thought about it, and you've had, you have congressional committees that all they do is sit around and talk about this stuff. And when they do it, they project it and they say, okay, these 3 scenarios, these are the 3 most probable scenarios. This, that, and the other. And that's why they balloon test stuff, and they'll send stuff up the pipeline, and they'll see what the public reaction is. And most of the time, the public's like, get out from in front of the TV. I'm trying to watch my whatever, the Lucifer. I remember the last show, I think it was going to be on Fox, was Lucifer. And me and Texas Mom were looking at child names for our child. And one of the top 300 names in America is Lucifer. So I don't know if that speaks anything about our society, but that speaks volumes. Rico, you're supposed to be working.
Daddy, this is trying to sleep.
Who's trying to sleep? Sorry, Mommy. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody has any specific discussions about investing or any questions, but we could just talk about investing. Hey, you did your time. Oh, you got out on good behavior. I know California home. Texas Mom, do you have your summer sweater on?
Yes, I do.
Texas Mom has her summer sweater on. And California Homestead wants me to sing the summer sweater song. And I don't know if I can do it with the mouth of lasagna or not, but I can try.
If you wake up, sissy poo.
Oh, Miss Butterfly's asleep. I have to be quiet. That's why she was acting like that. She was tired. So I'll talk very quietly. Hopefully y'all can hear me.
Yeah.
You've been graced with the presence of Texas Mom.
She was very tired. Like in 2 minutes.
Yeah, she was.
Laid down and went to sleep.
Shelly Martin wears a summer sweater too.
Yeah.
Shelly Martin, is your summer sweater black? Shelly Martin, does it get to be 105 degrees where you are and kind of stay that way for a very long time? I didn't do that. Don't even try it.
Did you hear her?
Mama, yeah, it's all you. She wants to see your summer sweater. See, that's not me.
I don't know if I can sit here. She's gonna hear me.
Oh, that's everybody's saying hi to Texas Mom. No, it's white. See, that just makes sense.
I don't wear this sweater outside. Not outside.
That is way too logical.
Do you know how hugely pregnant I am right now? Black is a good color. It's minimal. It's minimized.
Who are all these people with a summer sweater?
Ladies wear like cardigan. It's just like a lightweight thing. Mm-hmm. But you don't wear it when you're like sitting out in the sun.
Oh. They understand you, Texas Mom. See, look, you get on. Look at the attendance, like shoots through the roof. Sissy's just gonna have to struggle. Makes you look skinny.
Nothing's making me look skinny right now. But thank you. Especially when I sit next to him.
Mrs. O wears a summer sweater.
And he doesn't eat.
What is this, like a summer sweater convention?
He made a song about the summer
Wow,
sweater.
they bought all their kids summer sweaters. What's going on? Yeah, I did I was singing Texas Mom. You can't look skinny when you're 9 months old.
No.
Get out of here. Tangled Wood wears summers. What? I wear summers. Oh.
Does Sissy know about the new baby?
She does.
She does.
And it's traumatic. She's growing up though.
Yeah. She keeps kissing my belly and saying baby, and she understands a little bit, but it'll be real when he gets here.
Yeah, and it's just interesting because Junior and Sissy just this past week have kind of just grew up kind of quick. You know, they're getting
this past week. Yeah. No, let's just say it. They all went to bed. like, and went to sleep.
It was weird. I thought they died. I'm like, is everybody okay? Did all my children just die?
No, they just...
Did the rapture happen? And I'm the only one that's left?
Shh. She's trying to go to sleep.
I was left behind. I thought I was left behind, y'all.
It was like, wow. It was like, what, 8:30 or 9 o'clock?
It was crazy. It was like,
and they were
like, what happened?
They all went to sleep, and little Junior went.
Yeah, Junior went in his bedroom, shut the door, and laid down.
He put himself to bed. She's been putting herself to bed pretty much. And, yeah, and then we're like looking at each other like, we're having another one. What are we doing?
Caitlin wants to know how you work on becoming a minimalist with kids. Here's how you do it, Caitlin. You want me to tell you?
I don't know. How many kids
Let me
do
give
you
you a
have?
guy perspective.
You just throw everything out.
You throw away all of your husband's stuff, and then if you need it, you just buy it again. Isn't that great? Is that a great idea? It's great.
He thought he needed a tank top.
I do. I wear a weapon, and when I wear a shirt, I want a undershirt under my shirt.
So you're not
So I'm not sweating on my weapon.
Right.
And Texas mom thought she had thrown away all my tank tops. See, because I used to be like this meathead guy, and I used to wear
tank tops anymore.
I used to wear white beaters, like
when I've
on the outside,
minimalizing and like cleaning everything / nesting like a crazy lady here. I remember looking at the tank tops, and then I said, your closet was bad. It was bad. How did you know that, Weetree? Was I talking about his closet?
Yeah,
his closet is amazing right now.
It is amazing.
He doesn't know where all of his stuff
No,
went.
it's terrible. But somehow I manage. I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I'm writing a book. It's called Somehow I Manage. And it's about the trials of
He could do a video on
struggling
on a minimalist
being
men's closet right now.
Yeah.
You
I could.
You should.
But I don't curse, so I'm not going to do it. All right?
It would make you curse. Your closet is so clean and organized now. I cleaned everything. I just keep organizing.
Rico used to be a wife beater guy. I had all different kind of color wife beaters.
Tank tops. This is like a while ago. Never wears these things, so I thought I threw them out.
And I said, keep these because they're an undershirt, and I'm going to wear them as an under. I don't want to buy more. Keep the ones I have and wear them when I need them.
But you know how he has intermittent fasting? I have intermittent hearing, and I don't him say that, or I
Has anybody heard of the rule of?
don't remember him.
Yeah.
So Sunday,
Buffering.
tank top. I was like, I don't know if we have any tank tops. So. But
She was backpedaling because she thought, oh,
thankfully, I didn't throw them all away.
you need something, Bubba? Oh, I'll get it for you. You want me to get it for you?
Okay.
Keep talking.
So anyway, no, I didn't minimalize that. But yeah, it depends on how many children you have. It seems like to me, every one that we add, like when I go through this nesting stage, I just get more and more. I just want to get rid of it. So with our 6, yeah, like I feel like we're living in an empty house, which is wonderful and peaceful for me. So like I got
All right, we're back. Sorry about that.
sorry about that. Yeah, so keep minimalizing. I keep just getting rid of stuff. Today I got rid of the 2 big desks in the front room that the boys were using because these 2 big desks just store clutter.
Weetree was upset that we said wife beater. But that's what it's called.
You never heard of it?
Yeah, she's heard of it, but it's an endearing term.
No,
it's just like the rule of thumb. You know what the rule of thumb is?
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, it's a colloquialism. That's a good point. I never thought about that. All right.
A tank top.
No,
He never beat.
Carl DeLozier wants to know, when you say $200 a week for groceries, does that include paper goods and toiletries? That does include.
Yeah, that was all of our
Yeah,
stuff.
$200 a week does include our paper goods and toiletries, Carl.
Yeah, but that was not including like bulk food purchases.
Yeah, the buffering's coming from the bandwidth on the cell phone. It's.
Yeah. What do you think if we lose them again?
Yeah, if we lose them again, we might have to bag it because it's just like 3 times. I'm not.
Yeah. And I've been sticking super strict with stuff, so.
All right, y'all. Well, I guess it. And they're like laughing at me. All right, y'all. So we're gonna bounce, I guess, because it's great. So we hope y'all had a great day. Hope you have a great week. And sorry, with this struggles in this topic for some bizarre reason. And probably now that everybody's off, it'll probably stay on. Miss Butterfly's asleep. I mean, everything is just.
She fell asleep in like 2 minutes.
It's perfect. The sounds.
The boys are out riding their Junior's watching Peter Rabbit.
And Peter Rabbit. I mean, and now it'll probably stay on fine.
Well, we hope you all had a good weekend, and I guess if we get kicked off again.
Christy Eronimus. She loves the Texas Boys. Well, thank you.
Aw. Thank you. The boys work very editing today.
Yep, we got our. Man, this fly in here is like I feel like I'm Barack Obama in the face.
Yeah, we almost done.
Yeah, our teaching textbooks video is coming out, so that'll be good. And
giving away a teaching.
We're giving away a teaching textbook, so that's coming out. That'll be soon.
Love that program.
The teaching tech is incredible for people that are a little inadequate to teach. They shouldn't,
Or just feel like you don't have enough time. Yeah,
time factor or overwhelm factor or all those different factors. And with what else they had that they're working on, it's super duper cool. We can't talk about it yet, but it's going to be really. And if they do a good job with that, as they've done with math, it's going to be really cool.
Yep. So we're excited about that.
We're excited about that, and now the live stream stayed on
and
longer.
Goobs did his, I'm thinking blog. What is it called? Podcast.
It's podcast.
I'm sorry. My brain
Tracy Hayward. Good evening.
Yeah, that was cracking me up.
I watched Texas Mom. You see the sweat on my forehead? It's wet. And
I didn't even wear the sweater outside. I'm not retarded. I wear it when I'm in the house or like indoors. Ladies wear like a gang kind of thing, You wear a sleeveless shirt.
Wouldn't it make more sense to just not turn the air conditioners cold and like have a sweater on? What does the audience think? Let's poll the audience. Because
it doesn't go,
desire
it doesn't go all the way down.
to live my life by majority rule. I just think that the masses know.
You just want a sweater.
I just want a sweater. I would just like have.
There's no summer sweaters.
To stay in my closet, and I do not want a Mr. Rogers sweater.
I bought him one year.
She did, and it was terrible. And I think she turned it into a baby dandy at the terrible looking.
It was.
And this
but it was like
fly wants to land on my face.
It was expensive. It was Christmas time, and I bought it for him. It was gray, and it was from the Gap.
Okay, Josh, does Annie wear Paul?
When you go to church, going to be like inside?
Oh, the Vorman.
Hey, Stacey.
You're totally. Oh no, that wasn't a sweater. That was a long sleeve shirt there, funny. At Target. And there was a whole lot of French action going on. I was keeping Austin weird. My question was buffered. Oh, does Annie wear some... Say that 5 times fast. Summer sweaters. All right, before we get cut off, I'm going to sing the summer sweater song. What about the homeschool video guys? Oh, I don't know. Is there a homeschool video guys? Is that like a...
I don't know. I'll have to look them up. I'm not sure.
Did you get the Bobos to go with the sweater?
It was pretty...
Mr. Rogers reference, I get it.
You know what's so funny is that they have Mr. Rogers episodes on YouTube, and Junior...
No Rogers.
Junior...
No Rogers.
Gets if you put on...
Freaked out. And I used to watch a lot of Mr. Rogers.
Songs.
Yeah, I do know.
Every word.
I know every song to every... I know every word to every terrible song ever written, and it's all stuck. And like good important things and scripture and all that stuff. I can't remember any of that stuff.
I used to watch it, and I don't know all the words. And she's smart. She's a practical girl.
Just, Annie, do you just conditioning up? It's cold? Just a question.
This wasn't really for like in the morning maybe.
Summer sweaters make me feel cool, even when it's 102. There you go. I sang the summer sweater song.
Sleeveless tanks and AC on cold. Yeah.
Annie is constantly hot. Annie is going third person on you, Texas Mom. Oh, all right, y'all. Well, it's gonna cooperate here. Does anybody have questions? Something about this top sidetrack? Zach, Shelly Snyder is wearing a summer sweater right now.
There you go.
That's just bizarre.
There's lots of them.
See you, Tracy. Yeah, I don't know. Annie says goodbye.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Night,
We're gonna sign off for good. We're gonna sign off for the night. Y'all have a good evening. We're a little tired. I spent a lot of time this. Yeah. Feeling good.
Hope you had a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you.
We'll catch you on the next live. Hopefully, Lord willing, on Saturday.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. See y'all. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out.